Golf ball sized hail associated with this round of thunderstorms. So that's why we do have those severe thunderstorm warnings in effect, and why I think we'll continue to see them. Ice and snow, take it slow. With conditions like this, even as the snow does start to let up, we'll be continuing to stay cold enough for things to just refreeze and make those roads very slippery. The reds and the greens on top of each other, that lets us know that there's that little spiral. So you can see just north of Summit where you have that combination again of the red and the green. You have the winds that are going toward and away. That's why we can look at the radar and say this is a radar indicated tornado. One of the bonuses to kind of the clouds that stuck around overnight and into the morning is the clouds almost act like a blanket to keep in heat for us overnight.
She's always so positive.
She's always looking on the bright side. Yeah, absolutely.
So he's a little bit big. He only gets to play with news reporters and weather people.
He's still very playful, though.
Oh, yeah, and he's not using his claws, you can see, so he's very well aware of those weapons.
Just like any sort of typical thunderstorm, well, hurricanes, tropical storms, they thrive when they have not only a large moisture source, but also warmer conditions. We can see that clear eye, though, not only on the satellite image, but on radar as well, letting us know that this hurricane, it means business as it's continuing to push its way up the coastline. Fog giving us enough moisture, and when it comes in contact with temperatures below freezing, it's going to create ice somewhere. This morning it's creating ice on your cars, so I'd say before you head out the door, make sure that you give yourself plenty of time to get it started a little early, turn on the defrosters. I'm not going to say dodge the morning coffee. It's okay, I had to have some caffeine this morning too, but do keep in mind things like caffeine, even alcohol, those work to dehydrate you.
And now, your KY3 Storm Team forecast.
Well, good evening, everyone. Hopefully you had a chance to go out and enjoy that gorgeous weather we saw today. And if not, I think you're in luck because we're looking at very similar conditions as we head toward your Sunday afternoon. It will be a little cool to start off the morning. We'll be down to the 50s late tonight, early tomorrow morning. Quickly, though, with the sunshine climbing back up into the mid-70s. Now, of course, one thing that we're still watching tonight, that area of low pressure, it's been spiraling its way across the Ohio Valley today, starting to push its way up toward the Great Lakes. It's taking with it the chance for any rain showers and a good chunk of our cloud cover as well. Now, without the clouds to kind of act like a blanket and keep in the heat for us, it is still a little cool tonight, so you can kind of use last night as a good gauge for whether or not it'll be a nice night to just give the air conditioner a break or even leave some of the windows open. For now, we are seeing a few spots down to the 50s. Mountain Grove, one of the colder spots, 53 degrees already, so I wouldn't be surprised if those places in the mid-50s even see some upper 40s by the time tomorrow morning rolls around. Now, the clouds like we saw today, they're going to continue to impact the temperatures, so even though we're expecting mid-70s for Springfield, a few areas towards central Missouri and up by Rolla as well, they could be a little bit cooler. Now, a warming trend is going to be on the way ahead of the next chance for showers for the coming work week. Now, we've already kind of focused on that area of low pressure. It's going to continue to spiral its way well up into the Great Lakes and really isn't causing much of a concern aside from maybe a few passing clouds. The bigger thing that we're focusing on over here, high pressure in control. As high pressure continues to slide its way across the Ozarks for both Sunday and Monday, well, not only will we be watching for more sunshine, but as it moves around in that clockwise pattern, we'll have a shift in wind, so a bit of a southerly wind coming in place, also helping to bring in much warmer, but also some more moist air. Now, the moisture that's going to be funneling in, it'll be something that we watch, especially with this approaching cold front. The cold front that's going to be pushing its way into the plains by the beginning of the work week. Well, it'll be moving here toward the Ozarks by about Tuesday night into the day on Wednesday. So even though you need the sunglasses tomorrow, I wouldn't put that rain gear away too far just yet. Here's kind of what our models are thinking, even with the timing of this system. I think as early as Tuesday night, we could see a few light showers here or there. But even as we head toward the day Wednesday, most of us will just be watching for a few light showers, maybe upwards of about 1/4 of an inch of rain. Most of the heavier showers, that's where we get into those blue and purple areas. So it'll be where the cold front initiates by the time Tuesday and Wednesday rolls around for central parts of Kansas. And of course, the change in pressure systems and that cold front rolling through, it'll affect your temperatures as well. Tonight we'll be down close to 50 degrees, but much like we saw today, those areas up like we were mentioning by Rolla, Camdenton, even by Jefferson City and Sedalia, they're going to struggle to hit 70 degrees, while by the middle of the afternoon, we'll be talking about mid-70s, potentially even a few upper 70s appearing down by Springfield, Monette, and Rogers. Now, as we head toward the day on Monday, again, more sunshine, that southerly breeze in place. It will uptick the temperatures a bit. We're going to be watching for highs by the beginning of the work week, closer to 80 degrees. Now, tonight, we can use last night again like a gauge to figure out whether or not it's a good night to keep the windows open. 50 degrees for me, it's a little cool, so that's about the temperature that if you do have the window open, you might want to consider even adding an extra blanket. Layering up tomorrow, I think it's going to be a good idea as well, because even though we're starting off in the 50s, very comfortable afternoon high temperatures continuing to climb up to the mid, maybe even upper 70s. Now again, further south and east you go, even if you're thinking about heading down toward the Tulsa area, that'll be where we have that chance for 80s making an appearance. The rest of us, 80s won't be far behind. They'll be moving in by the beginning of the work week, ahead of some rainfall by the second half of the week. Well, Paula, it did not take me long just leaving the station in order to find just a pileup of cars that had either slid off the roadways or slipped on the ice and collided into each other. You can still see, looking behind me, where they're getting ready to tow away one vehicle, still lots of police lights behind me as well. And unfortunately, as you get ready to head home from those Super Bowl parties, or if you'll be doing any driving later tonight, the threat will be moving away from the snow and those whiteout conditions like we saw from some of the cameras to some refreezing of the ice. And here are a few things to include in that emergency kit before you hit the road. Start with an extra coat or a blanket just in case. Also remember to throw in a few winter essentials such as that hat and gloves. A few more things to throw in the bag. Well, you want your de-icer just in case the windshield freezes over or any of those side windows. You also want to think about snacks. Think about things like, say, granola bars or nuts, things that you know won't go bad and will be able to withstand that extreme cold. One more thing you might want to think about, a flashlight and some extra working batteries as well. And most importantly, make sure it goes in a nice little bag that you can tuck away before you drive off. Keep that warm column of air above 32 degrees. That's going to be a best case scenario where we're just talking about rainfall. But all of that pink that we're seeing on the Doppler radar, that's where it gets a little fuzzy, because that's where we're talking about the mix. The main concern for today, it's the freezing rain. The difference between rain versus freezing rain, well, you do still have that warm layer of air in the middle of the atmosphere, so while we're cold enough in the upper layers to maybe start off as snow, we start to melt that, but as soon as it comes onto contact with cold surfaces, whether it's your car, the sidewalks, or unfortunately even the roads that you're driving on, that's going to be what turns it right into a sheet of ice. If you are ever outside, say at a park, and find yourself needing to take shelter immediately, sometimes your best bet is to go into a bathroom. Just remember that whatever shelter you find, you want to put as much space as you can between yourself and the outdoors, and you want that to be a space without any windows. You want to make sure that before you even head outside that you're staying weather aware and checking the forecast. It's also important to use things like, say, your smartphone to make sure that you're getting the latest updates on the severe weather. Irma, in this case, has been approaching its way from the south. We have been seeing very strong winds blowing their way in from the northeast. And what that actually does is it helps to pull the water out of the shallow bays and some of the harbors. Now here's a video. Many may have already seen this. It's from the Public Information Coordinator out by the Clearwater area. He shared this video, and here's again where you can see almost an eerie look across the bay from that water that's been receding from those very strong winds. In fact, as we continue to watch across the state of Florida, they saw a state like that earlier today, and just take a look at what it looks like over there now. This was a video that was recorded just an hour ago from the Tampa, Florida area. This one came in around 7:40 in the morning, so it was really between about 7:40 and 8 o'clock that we started getting those calls. And when we talk about magnitudes between 2.5 and say 3.6 like that first one, that means people pretty widespread, they're starting to feel the earthquake, especially inside, and you might more so notice things like, say, your picture shaking on the wall, any unsteady furniture maybe wobbling a little bit as well. Very minor damage though is typically reported with those size of earthquakes that we saw like this morning. It's once you start to hit that 5.5 and larger that we start to see more widespread damage.